welcome to the news on Magic Bricks Now. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Lok Sabha unanimously passes the Goods and Service Tax Bill. PM calls it a new beginning for India. Says GST will ensure consumer is king once again. Aam Aadmi Party versus Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung heats up now. Jung sends letter to heads of all government departments, asks for files which required his nod but was not taken under Kejriwal's regime. In Mumbai, Bhiwandi, after two buildings fall like a pack of cards, killing over a dozen people, authorities crack down, say they will demolish two dilapidated buildings in the next couple of days. The civic body will also maintain records of all evacuated residents to protect their rights as homeowners. And in Bengaluru, mega face-off between civic body BBMP begins. Mega demolition drive raises buildings that have encroached on stormwater drains. Starting with our big focus, Delhi's power tussle continues. Now, Delhi Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung has asked for files of all important decisions taken by the Arvind Kejriwal-led AAP government. This comes just days after Delhi High Court upheld the administrative powers of the Lieutenant Governor in matters of public order, land, police and services, including the power to appoint civil servants. Times Now's executive editor Navika Kumar has a copy of the memorandum. She gets us more details.
It's very clear that the Lieutenant Governor has decided to hit back after the High Court judgment. In fact, I have in my hand a copy of the letter. It's a memorandum that has been sent off, and it says whereas whatever appointments and statutory bodies were set up, and for the last 1.5 years no prior permission of the Lieutenant Governor was taken, all of those files will now need to be put. So all appointments to statutory bodies, those appointment files will go to the Lieutenant Governor. It also goes on to say that all those issues will now have to be brought to the Lieutenant Governor's notice. Every single principal secretary, every head of the department, every board, every institution, everything that falls under the Delhi government, all of them, wherever the LG's approval is not there, all those files need to go to the LG now by the 17th of August. That's the deadline that has been set.
Moving on to Bengaluru now, over a week after citizens were stranded in Bengaluru, the state government has shown a knee-jerk reaction. The civic agency went on a massive demolition drive across the city, raising encroachments on lake beds and stormwater drains. Now, what's worse is that these residents have been given no prior notice by the BBMP.
BBMP's demolition drive across Bengaluru continues even on Monday, and on Tuesday, in fact, it's expected to escalate as deadlines given to certain residents to move out of their houses which are built on Rajkalu, the main stormwater drains here in Bengaluru, will expire today. So across South and North Bengaluru, we are expecting the drive to pick up momentum tomorrow, even as certain residents are appealing to BBMP to give more time. And the BBMP has agreed to do so only if they give it in writing on a stamp paper that they have indeed faultily built their houses on stormwater drain. And if that demand of BBMP is not met come Tuesday, the demolition drive will escalate, and many more citizens across Bengaluru are expected to lose either their houses or at least certain parts of their house. But the larger question that's being asked across the city is, why is it that for all these years these houses were allowed to be built on stormwater drains with, in fact, let's remember, proper documentation? Why were the civic authorities, be the BBMP, the BDA, or even the government for that matter, sleeping over this matter? And only now, with absolutely no notice, the houses or citizens are being demolished.
11 years back has purchased the land, and they have each and every document for the land.
Any of the documents show there is a stormwater drain?
No, nothing. And they have consulted the lawyer because they spent a lot for buying a land also, okay? And they have consulted a great legal team, and even they showed them the CDP map and all. And till 2015 there was nothing. It has been shown the BD approval map thing they have shown to them when they moved to that, when they have purchased the land.
See, I think there is no question of sparing anybody on this issue. Wherever encroachments have taken place on the stormwater drains, definitely they will be removed, whether it's government, private, anyone, whoever it may be. And as it is, government has been on a recovery of land drive for the last 2 years, and we've recovered so many thousands and thousands of acres of land in and around Bangalore, running into tens of thousands of crores of rupees. So that was a priority then. But this, after the flooding incident, yes, there has been a lot of oversight where people have not they've overlooked and not followed the rule of law. Whether it's our officers, whether it's local people, the people of Bangalore also. So now, whoever is culpable, we have to take action. So whoever allowed this to happen also, we will take action. That also the government has said.
From Bengaluru to NCR now, where the Noida Authority also has got into flood control mode. In an attempt to keep monsoon-related waterlogging at bay, the Noida Authority has issued warning notices to 348 companies located in the industrial belt of Sector 63 of the city. Our reporter Deepa Rana gets us this report.
The Noida Authority has beefed up their preparations for the monsoon season. Now what we're being told by the DCO Soumya Srivastav of the Noida Authority is that the Noida Authority has issued over 348 notices to various industrial companies who are, encroaching upon the storm water drains in the Sector 63 industrial area of Noida. In fact, till now these warning notices have been issued to various companies, and the authority is visiting these sites so that to find out if the waterlogging is taking place because of the encroachment, or is it because of the drains not clean or desilting not done. Now what we've been informed till now is that the Noida Authority is giving a week's time to these companies to respond. If these companies do not obey to these warning notices, in that case the authority is going to take a strict action. In fact, they are also be given penalty in terms of money which the companies will have to pay to the Noida Authority for encroaching upon their land.
Meanwhile, in Mumbai, your commute on the Western Express Highway is likely to get more harrowing. MMRDA is all set to start civil works for the much-anticipated Andheri to Dahisar elevated metro corridor starting today. Now, the barricading work for the metro that is expected to ease traffic once completed will go on for the next 2 weeks. Post this, the company is set to take up utility wrenching. We caught up with the Additional Commissioner of MMRDA, Praveen Darade, who says this 16.5-kilometer line is extremely crucial for Mumbaikars.
We are starting the work. We have already given work order on 6th of May 2016. The total construction duration is 30 months. So we have already given them place for starting their casting yards to all the 3 packages. This 16.5 kilometer has been further divided into among the 3 contractors, 3 packages. In these 3 packages, we are going to do the barricading right from the tomorrow for 1 kilometer stretch each. We are working together with the Joint CP Traffic of Mumbai.
Also tell us, what is the budget for Metro 7 and the timeline to complete it? The first 30 months, of course, is the 3 phases that you just spoke about.
The time for completion of Metro 7 is 3 years. December 2019 is the deadline for Metro 7. And the total budget cost of Metro 7 is approximately 6,200 crores. We have started the civil works costing nearly 1,000 crores, and the duration for the civil works is 30 months.
Also, have you identified the number of residential and commercial structures that will be affected? Have you identified, and how many structures are there as of now?
We have carried out social impact assessment as well as study environmental impact assessment for Metro Line 7, and we have identified the structures which will be affected during the construction of Metro Line 7. There are hardly very few structures will be affected because we are running parallel to the Western Express Highway. Only at the metro stations locations will be affecting some residential structures and some commercial structures. All these structures will be rehabilitated as per MUTP policy, and we have approval, state government cabinet approval for rehabilitation of these people, and I don't think so the people will face any problem.
Also, Metro 2B and 4 are in the pipeline. If you could just tell us about that, what's the progress on that front?
All these two metros, MMRDA board has already given an approval, and now they are in pipeline for the state government cabinet approval. Very shortly, within the next 15 days, we are expecting state government cabinet approval. Once we get the cabinet approval, we are going to float the tenders for these two metro also.
The traffic police, meanwhile, is convinced this work will not have a large impact on Western Express Highway that is perpetually clogged. Joint Commissioner of Police Milind Barambe says there will be no diversions required and that they are fully equipped to control traffic.
We are not anticipating any diversion plans as of now because it is on the main Western Express Highway northbound, which is in the last lane and service lane where the work will start. And the work is, the patches they are selected are the least resistance patches where we are not expecting too much of traffic jam. But if at all there is any traffic commotion, then we'll break the median and put them in the southbound as a counter lane to push the traffic towards the north. We'll increase to some extent only because we are already staff crunched, but we have asked for some traffic wardens from MMRDA, which they are ready to provide.
Moving on, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or Clean India Mission is the Prime Minister Modi's pet project and mass movement to ensure every Indian has basic sanitation facilities by 2019. A mission that envisages garbage-free India. The government now collects 0.5%, Swachh Bharat says, and the government has already collected nearly 4,000 crore rupee towards Swachh Bharat mission. It has been nearly 2 years since Modi called for Swachh Bharat. Now people are asking, why do our cities remain to be so dirty?
कचरे के बारे में मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगता है, घान लगता है।
खाते में जाता है लेकिन गवर्नमेंट कचरा उठा नहीं रही है। बहुत सारे कचरे इधर-उधर पड़े हैं, बहुत गंदगियां हो रही हैं।
तो यहाँ सब पानी भरा हुआ है और ये सब म्यूनसिपैलिटी का काम है ये। इससे गंदगी होएगी और इससे बीमारी भी होएगी। तो ये सब चीज़ करना चाहिए इन लोगों को। आधा पैसा आधा से ज़्यादा तो खा जाते हैं और आधा काम करते हैं और आधा छोड़ देते हैं ऐसा।
स्वच्छ भारत का पैसा तो देखो ऐसा गंदगी में जाता है क्योंकि हटाने में जाता है, पब्लिक समझती नहीं। पब्लिक को भी वो है हक कि अपना जो अपन जहाँ बैठते हो सफाई रखे। उसको भी सोचना चाहिए कि अपना घर है तो उसकी उधर भी स्वच्छ रखे तो बीमारी नहीं होगी ना।
सब पैसा जो है जब खा जा रही है, पब्लिक साफ सफाई नहीं हो रही है। और
बाजू वाले को उठा के लेके जाता है सबको और ये मुट्ठी पे कच्चा को कितना पानी जमा है, कितना मच्छर है उसके अंदर देखो ना, कोई देखता नहीं। और कितना आदमी को तकलीफ है, कुछ नहीं करता कोई। किसी को बोलेगा वो मुट्ठी बैठे को कंप्लेंट करो, कंप्लेंट करे तो वो भी बात सुनता नहीं। वो पैसा खाने का बात करता है, बस पैसा दे अभी साफ करता है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को बोलता है वो साफ करके जाएगा।
Frankly, from what little bit work we have done as part of Kabadiwala Connect, the Swachh Bharat campaign, from what we've seen, has at least brought in some change in the mindset of people that we have to start getting clean. The cleanliness word has gone into people's mind by this campaign. I think that's one positive thing about the campaign. Frankly, how much money has been collected in the central pool or how much has been spent is something which I definitely would not know. At least
well,
in the urban
I agree
cities,
with T.S. Subaya about the fact that just using like Gopal Krishna Agarwal told us that the money is being used to create awareness, which basically means that the money is being used for a campaign, for a television and a radio and a print campaign. That doesn't seem like an adequate answer at all.
Let's have some civility in the debate, Mr. Gopal Krishna. Now please hear me out. Firstly, I think, there are two factual errors the gentleman from the Bharatiya Janata Party is making. Number one, the objective of the cess was to do creation of toilets. Number one, garbage and waste management. As per own Lok Sabha records, out of this total fund created, 15 to 22% of that has been used for advertisement. That clearly shows the other 80% funds has been utilized for what? Mr. Venkaiah Naidu's own reply says only 24% of the target is missed, which shows that the government's target and interest is more in self-promotion rather than cleaning India. Point number one. Point number two, he tries to make that this is state, this is center. I am sorry, how the fund is structured, it is the duty of the central government to ensure timely release to the state governments and ensure its monitoring.
And the figures which were given about what has been released so far, around 2,500 crores has been released to the states. So about the control system which we are managing, we are implementing is that once a state is given any amount.
Mr. Kakkar, how much has been used in the media? Mr. Kakkar, how much has been used in the media campaign?
Yes, I'll tell you, ma'am. So the media campaign was supposed to be structured like this.
What is the total amount collected so far? The collected amount so far is more than that. More than what they've actually anticipated 5 years collection. What they've collected in just 2 years is more than that.
One thing I just want to tell you that in this debate there is a complete disconnect between what people are expecting Swachh Bharat Abhiyan to be mission and what people are connecting it with the cleanliness in their local areas. It was never meant, this whole mission was not at all the objective that the Swachh Bharat mission will clean the beaches of the Mumbai.
I am sorry.
And second thing is, there was so much debate on how much. Just let me now finish. You asked me to. You let me now finish now. Once you said that you. Once you are telling that you let me talk to you. The main thing is that you are completely disconnected between what you are expecting Swachh Bharat mission to do for your local areas, garbage and cleanliness, etc. and what you are expecting that the center will do this then.
If the center has collected a tax from me, I am expecting the center will do it. If the center didn't want to do it, then it should have been collected by the urban local body. Tell the BBMP and the BMC and the local municipality to collect the tax. Why am I paying a tax to the center if the center? What do you mean the center should not be able to do it?
And the maximum money is collected only at the.
It as a
maximum money of this is collected only for major metros.
Go talk to your urban development minister. What is this Swachh Bharat all about?
Don't tell me not to expect anything from the urban development ministry or the center. Our expectations are fairly low to begin with, Mr. Agarwal.
Clean India, build toilets, process garbage, and here you are giving a different story.
Swachh Bharat mission is something we're going to keep an eye on. We're going to demand accountability from all forms of government, whether it is at the center or at the various states or local municipality. Our focus is the quality of life for the urban citizen.
Moving on to the crucial GST bill, the Lok Sabha has passed Rajya Sabha amendments to the GST constitution bill. Now, viewers might note that the historic constitutional amendment to implement the much-awaited goods and services tax was passed by the Rajya Sabha last week. While political parties have blessed this amendment wholeheartedly, this debate is expected to indicate the road ahead for the implementation of this landmark reform. Now, addressing the Lok Sabha, Prime Minister Modi said no single party can claim responsibility for the passage of the GST bill. He also said that the bill would go a long way in getting rid of tax terrorism.
एक ऐसा निर्णय हम कर रहे हैं जिसमें राज्यसभा, लोकसभा, 29 राज्य और जिनके कोई न कोई नुमाइंदगी जीत करके आए हैं, ऐसे 90 राजनीतिक दल, उन सब ने एक व्यापक मंथन करके, विचार मंथन करके आज हमें यहां पहुंचाया है और जिसको हम कुछ समय के बाद अंतिम निर्णय के लिए मोहर लगाएंगे। जीएसटी का मतलब है ग्रेट स्टेप बाय टीम इंडिया। जीएसटी का मतलब है ग्रेट स्टेप टवर्ड्स ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन। जीएसटी का मतलब है ग्रेट स्टेप्स टवर्ड्स ट्रांसपेरेंसी। और इसलिए हम एक नई व्यवस्था से जुड़ रहे हैं। एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत, ये हम सबका सपना है और उसी सिलसिले में आज जीएसटी वो एक नया मोती इस माला में हम परो रहे हैं जो एक भारत के भाव को ताकत देता है।
Meanwhile, big win for developer Niranjan Hiranandani. HIRCO's case against Hiranandani developers has been quashed by the arbitration panel in Singapore. Not just this, the company has also been awarded nearly 160 crore rupee in the legal battle. Suesha Sawant gets us details.
Just to give you a background, HIRCO had invested in two projects in Chennai and Panvel, which they had acquired from Kamal and Niranjan Hiranandani way back in 2007. The project at Chennai is a 255-acre township and the project at Panvel is a 588-acre SEZ-cum township development project. Now, in 2010, when there was a global meltdown, the pace of development for these projects had slowed down and they had an outstanding loan of 1100 crore rupees with domestic lenders like HDFC and PNB. Now, HIRCO PLC and its subsidiary HIRCO Holdings had initiated claims against Mr. Hiranandani of fraudulent misrepresentation, conspiracy, unlawful interference and contractual negligence. But all these claims have been dismissed by the Singapore arbitration panel. They have ordered HIRCO to pay Niranjan Hiranandani approximately 160 crore rupees. And also I'd like to mention that Niranjan Hiranandani had stepped in to acquire both these projects in 2014 and now the company is all set to resume work on these projects.
Now, we also caught up with Niranjan Hiranandani, co-founder and MD Hiranandani Group, and asked him about the future developments of these projects. Listen in.
The projects are really townships with which we are quite familiar with, both in the case of Powai and in the case of Thane. So we are going to emulate the concept of townships which we have done in these two places in Panvel and Chennai. So the way forward is exactly what we have been doing for the last 30 years, only of course it will be better. You know, we had to go back for permissions both in the case of Chennai and in the case of Panvel. So we expect to restart these projects in the next 3 to 4 months. So within 2 years' time, all these people should be completely rehoused.
Meanwhile, the Kalyan Dombivli civic body is readying to tear down dilapidated structures after another building collapse in Bhiwandi left 8 dead and severely injured 12 people. Now, this is the second building collapse in 2 weeks. The civic body will also register residents in such dilapidated buildings in an attempt to safeguard their homeowner rights even after evacuation. My colleague Disha Shah gets us this exclusive.
A major tragedy unfolded in Bhiwandi near Mumbai on Sunday morning where a 2-floor building collapsed due to heavy monsoon showers on Sunday around 8 a.m. In fact, in this incident, 8 people lost their lives and 12 were badly injured. In fact, when I spoke to a couple of residents staying in that locality and even after talking to Bhiwandi Municipal Corporation, what we got to know is that this building was a very old and dilapidated one, a 35-year-old building. In fact, this building was tagged as one of the most dangerous buildings in Bhiwandi, and the Municipal Corporation had already sent evacuation notices to the residents staying in that locality. In fact, out of 5 families, 3 families moved out on an immediate basis after receiving evacuation notices, but the remaining 2 families preferred to stay. In fact, the 2 families that I'm talking about, they were on the verge of moving out on Sunday afternoon, before Sunday afternoon, but this tragedy happened on Sunday morning around 8 a.m. In fact, let's not forget that this incident comes as the second one in the past 1 week where on 31st July, a 4-story building, a decade-old building collapsed due to heavy monsoon shower, which claimed close to 12 to 14 lives. And lastly, when I spoke to the Municipal Commissioner E. Ravindran, he told Magic Bricks now that out of 15 buildings, now 10 buildings have already been demolished and the remaining 5 buildings will be demolished in another 2 days' time.
Now, Disha also caught up with Kalyan Dombivli Municipal Commissioner E. Ravindran and asked him about the rehabilitation of these residents and also the corporation's demolition plans of 17 buildings.
There are around 600 buildings we have declared as a dangerous and a very dangerous building. There are two categories. Very dangerous buildings, around 206 buildings, out of which we found that almost 17 buildings are, it's almost dilapidated condition. So we are taking the first campaign to remove those buildings. So out of which already we demolished 10 buildings. The rest of the almost 7 buildings will be done within 2 days. The remaining 206 buildings, we are planning to do it in a phased way. So we also find out the accommodation for the peoples. We have now identified almost 3 places where we can accommodate more than 100 people. So in that way, we are planning it to remove the remaining 206 buildings.
So which are these 3 places where you have identified to accommodate to give an alternate accommodation to the people?
Those are the buildings which we have for the night shelters. For any calamities which happen, we can give the relief to those people. So those we have almost 3 buildings within the corporation area. So we'll be providing their accommodations.
Okay, so which are these 3 places where you're going to provide alternate accommodation to the residents?
There are 3 night shelters within the corporation's area. So in that area, we are going to shift the people for temporary phases for 2 or 3 months till those people find their own accommodations. So it's a temporary relief measures.
It's a temporary relief measures. But we also know for the fact that there are several residents, okay, despite sending evacuation notices from the corporation's end, they were not ready to evacuate. But now do you think that this possible solution could bring some relief for them on a temporary basis as well?
No, not only the temporary basis, basically the residents or the citizens finds a difficulty when the building goes for redevelopment, they would not find any place in that. That is the main reasons why the citizens are not cooperating. Now what we did, we have issued a detailed circular stating that we will issue this some sort of certificate in the form that he is residing here for this many years and he is having this particular area of the square feet is in possessions. So whenever the building comes for redevelopment, we will ensure that that particular person gets in accommodation in that particular building. So we have issued a circular and we are maintaining the register so that the certificate when the building comes back, though his right is protected as a tenant. So that will help the citizen to cooperate with us.
Moving on, in a bid to build more homes in the outskirts of Mumbai, the Maharashtra government has announced a uniform DCR or development control rules for 6 municipal corporations in the MMR region. A set FSI, no height restrictions and construction on no development land are some of the provisions announced. Ruchi Deshpande gets us more details.
The Maharashtra government has approved a new DCR or development control rules which will be uniform across 6 municipal corporations in the Mumbai metropolitan region or the MMR. Note that these municipal corporations will be included barring the one set in Mumbai, in the city of Mumbai. The first noteworthy thing that has been made in this proposal for the DCR is the fact that there will be no height restrictions on residential buildings, which goes to say that the developer can go up to any height, but it should be within the permissible FSI limits or how much FSI has been bought by the developer. Talking about FSI, the basic FSI by the Maharashtra government has been kept at 1.1 for residential development, and this can go up to 3 in case the developer goes in for premium development. The third thing is that there will be construction of certain structures allowed on NDZ or no development zones. Basically, the Maharashtra government has allowed construction of educational institutes, of religious institutes, and of IT institutes to come up on these NDZs in these within these 6 municipal corporations. Note that this draft has been approved by the Maharashtra Chief Minister, but it will be put up for suggestions and objections in a matter of 8 to 10 days, after which it will be notified by the Maharashtra government.
With that, we've completely run out of time here on the Property News on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.